Hey everyone, welcome to this Zoom conference with our advanced broadcast journalism team at Louisiana College. I'm the instructor, Al Quartermont, joined by the students in my class as we take a look at what's been an interesting last few weeks of this semester. Not at all how we expected that it would go. Before we get into all that, I want to go ahead and let everyone introduce themselves. Brandon, go ahead and start.
My name is Brandon Murphy. I am a senior journalism major.
Okay. Chloe?
Yeah, hey, I'm Chloe Berthlot. I'm also a senior journalism major, finishing up my last few weeks at LC.
Definitely. All right. Aaron Woods, let's go with you first.
I'm Aaron Woods, a senior, Louisiana College, about to finish this last few weeks, ready to, start a new journey.
Absolutely. And then we have one freshman in this class, and that's Aaron Quartermont. Go ahead and introduce yourself.
Hey guys, I'm Aaron Quartermont. I'm a freshman at LC. Excited to be here. My major is Convergence Media and Theater.
A double major. Okay. All right. I just want to kind of talk with you guys a little bit about this whole thing that we've been dealing with COVID-19. This is one of those classes where, we were meeting twice a week in person. In some cases, things unique to having to meet in person, and now we've had to transition this to online, and you've had to do that with all your courses. So just tell me a little bit about what the experience has been like, especially for you seniors, ending things up this way. Whoever wants to go first.
It's been a little anticlimactic, I guess. I think, something you look for in the end of a semester is the big, the last month or two rush. I wouldn't call it a rush, but more it seems like that's when everything hits, and that's when everything's busy, and it's the way you earned into the semester, and it's just weird. It's just odd figuring out all online. I'm just getting excited about emailing my assignments on time now, and that's really the only way there is to do things now. So it's a little anticlimactic, and it also feels like a little bit more work. I don't know. It's odd. But it's okay, but it's just different, very anticlimactic for me.
Yeah, I would say that it feels like the end of the semester because I am getting ready for finals and studying kind of similarly as I would, but not exactly, kind of adjusting to those things. But mostly I feel like there's a lot of stuff that I didn't get to kind of close out. Yeah. Those things at the end of the semester that you get to kind of pass on those leadership roles, especially as a senior. I feel like I didn't get to have those conversations with underclassmen to get them ready for their next things in the department. I didn't feel like I got to close out my time being involved on campus. I don't really get to be a part of interviewing new people to serve in capacity that I was serving in. And so there are a lot of just loose ends that I feel like I won't be able to tie up. So that's definitely been a challenge in the midst of also figuring out using technology in ways I haven't before. So definitely a lot of challenges, but I would say at this point, right as we're close to the end, I'm kind of finding my groove with it.
Interestingly enough.
Yeah. Well, for me, man, most of my classes except for 2 of them was online anyway. So it wasn't really that much of a transition for me. Everything just been kind of moving at the same pace. I just never had to go on campus no more. But, it was an easy transition. I'm doing everything online anyway. So just adding those other classes to the online schedule was just, kind of just an easy thing to do. But, yeah, other than that, just it's kind of weird, not having to go on campus, but it didn't really change much.
Yeah. How about the freshman perspective?
The freshman's perspective, it's weird. A lot of my classes, there was 3 of them that I could not do online. So it's the class just stopped, and it's kind of just like a pass because it's stuff that you have to do at LC. Theater classes, you have to be there because you're working on set, or for some journalism, you have to go out and actually do stuff do a package. You can't really do that. As far as everything else, it's been, I'd say probably the hardest thing for me or for a freshman is like you're new, so you're just starting to figure out like how college works, and then boom, this huge speed bump comes, and you're like, oh heck, what do I do? And so you're trying to figure out how to do these classes online, and it's been a lot tougher, I feel like, maybe for freshmen, because they just it's all new to us, so we haven't like been into the groove as long as the seniors.
Sure. And you were part of a production that was just about to debut, I think the week that they
Yeah,
basically
the week.
postponed things.
Yeah, so we're pushing that production further in the future. Hopefully next semester if schools are open, and so we're just a week away, and so whenever we open the show, we'll only have maybe 1 or 2 weeks of practice before the show. So it'll be a lot tougher for everyone in that production.
Yeah, and do you have any graduating seniors that might not be able to be part of it now?
Yeah, there is Turan, who is a senior, and this was his senior project, was The Wiz, and he is the scarecrow in the play. So this was his last play. This was his, you know, he worked all the way through college to get to this moment where he could play his dream role, and then everything just went, you know, downhill. So he will be back, to perform, but have to put a little pause on his career to finish everything out.
Yeah, and I know that your brother and actually my son as well, who's 13, is going to be in the production, or was to be in the production as a Munchkin. But I think he's going to come back a lot taller at the end of summer by this little growth spurt he's having. So he may not be Munchkin size anymore. So they may have to recast him. We'll see.
Mm-hmm.
I want to go back to what Chloe was
Yeah.
talking about, and the fact that you said, you just feel like there's sort of a lack of closure, things that you weren't able to participate in. Let's maybe for the three of you, the three seniors, just talk about some of those things you feel like you might have been missing out on, or you might be missing out on because of what happened, what hit us. I guess March 13th was the last day on campus.
Yeah, I think one of the bigger things for me, specifically in just being really involved with the department and with Wildcats Media, there were a lot of things that we had a list to do before the end of the semester. So reassign who would be in charge of editing, reassign who would be in charge of assigning projects, and all these different things that we hadn't really fleshed out because we thought we had 5 or 6 weeks left to do that. And instead, it's just going to kind of have to happen on its own. And I know that that can be intimidating because I was there as an underclassman looking at these roles saying, I don't know that I'll be able to do this unless someone helps me. And so I just hope that the next time they get together as a class, that people will really step up into leadership roles, even if they feel maybe they haven't been completely equipped to do it yet, because I know that they have the skill to figure it out. I just wish that I could have been there for them a little bit longer to kind of give them, kind of show them the ropes. And I just didn't get a chance to do that.
How about Brandon or
Yeah,
Aaron?
for me, well, for me, my biggest thing is going to be how much I didn't really get like those last moments. Cause I mean, I've been here for longer than 4 years, but so for me, it was about missing, like, I didn't get those last moments with my my classmates and people that I've grown with for the last really 3 years now. I mean, I've been in the department for that long, and it's weird, but I'm a big believer and I'm a big guy like in goodbyes and like the proper type of closure. And I didn't get that with, some of my best friends, some of the people I'm closest to. And I didn't get really to like try to guide any freshmen or, try to like Chloe said, set it up for, the next generation, the next wave, whatever you want to call it. So that's a little sad, but yeah, it's just odd. It's not the way I envisioned it going down. Like I'm going to miss the people more than anything.
I mean, missing out, I wouldn't say I feel like I'm missing out on anything. it wasn't really much that I would do, like, outside of school work, you know what I mean? But probably watching spring football, that's probably the one thing that I said I would miss out on.
Yeah.
Like to see those guys, kind of take over, after, my last season. I want to see what they got left. But, you know, things happen.
Yeah. And Aaron, there's a new coach for the Wildcats, and they had just hired
Right.
him, Drew Maddox, right before all this kind of hit as well. So it takes away from him the ability to have that spring camp where you install your system and all of that. What kind of challenges do you think that'll present to the football program going into the fall?
Um, it just depends on the work ethic of the guys, because shape could, like, how they come condition wise could be a big challenge, since their off season was cut short, and continuity with the playbook, and just knowing what Coach Maddox want to do. That's going to be a challenge, because they don't have all the time that they would have had. It's already a challenge with the time that they would have had. So, especially with a new coach, so it's going to be even more of a challenge. But I think they can pull through.
So let's talk a little bit about just this whole pandemic and the stay-at-home order from Governor Edwards in this era that we're living in now, of social distancing and all of that. From each of your perspective, how have your lives changed? How has your personal life changed? And what's it been like for you going through all these last 6 or 7 weeks?
Yeah, I know that a big thing in kind of my personal life that has just drastically altered is that just 2 weeks before the stay-at-home order went into place, I had accepted a job as being a youth intern at Kingsville Baptist Church. And so I was getting really excited and ramped up to be a part of this youth ministry and get to invest in these kids' lives. And then I was told that I can't see them, that I have to stay home, and that I have to figure out a way to still engage them in Bible study and in conversation about life without actually getting to talk to them in person. And so it feels like we have just been scrambling. Every week gets a little easier, but overall it has been one of the biggest challenges of all of this, is that you just feel so disconnected when a text message just isn't enough. Recording a Bible study and sending a link to them is just not the same as being able to sit down with them and talk about it. And so learning how to still be effective in ministry while also just being new to the ministry world has been a really big challenge for me.
No, I think the biggest change about my social life is the lack of a social life. I mean, I don't do anything except go to work 8 hours a day, and then I come here. And usually when I get home, like on Fridays, off on Saturday, Sunday, I usually just stay home until that Monday. I mean, not unless I have to go and like get something essential or something. I'm just trying to abide by the stay-at-home order, as much as Governor Edwards is saying to. And that's the thing about my social life. There just isn't one right now. Trying to distance myself from loved ones and family members that I have that live in Pineville, and just trying to respect it. And I hope everybody else does too, because I'm seeing way too many people outside these days. So please stay indoors so we can get out of this, I don't know, I'll call it torture or whatever, but I think we all want it to end.
Yeah, it feels like that in some respects.
Yeah. I mean,
Yeah.
pretty much piggybacking off what you said, I was basically socially distant before we had to be. So, all I did was go to work, go to school, and that was basically it. So now I just go to work, come home, do schoolwork, and the hardest thing is probably not being able to go see my family, since they all in Lafayette and I'm out here. But we still talk, so it's not really that big of a challenge, So I'm pretty much an introvert, so that's cool.
Yeah, I have some introverts in my family, and they feel like this is a kind of a dream for them. So it all depends on your perspective.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's definitely a new way to live. I mean, it's a completely different lifestyle than you're used to. Like, you have your Monday through Saturday where you go to work or school, and then Sunday you go to church, and then So whenever Sunday comes around, you just wake up and you're like, oh, well, there's no church. So you stay home, you can watch like a sermon online, but you still don't get that fellowship with people. And it's a lot different than what most people are used to. And a lot of people thrive from social activity. Like if you're just staying at home, but you're like really a social butterfly from just seeing someone like in the grocery store, at church, or just hanging out, it's a challenge for them because they're just at home trying to keep themselves busy through this.
Yes, we have the introvert, we have the extrovert. What do you guys feel like you're missing the most right now during all of this?
Haircut.
What was that?
A haircut.
Haircuts.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't know. I think just little things that we take for granted. Like I didn't realize how much stuff I would miss until everything shut down. You can't go out to a restaurant. You can't get a haircut. You can't. It's just different. Like just the little things like restaurants, barbershops, stores in general that you can go and shop for things or things you might need. The comfort of just being able to walk into like a Walmart instead of having to go through like this line now and everything, everything's just it's just different. It's just everything's more tightly monitored. Just little freedoms that I don't think we really appreciated until they were sort of taken away from us.
Yeah, I feel like communication has slowed down because it all has to happen through technology now. And so instead of just, I'm on campus and I just run into Dr. Christian's office to ask her a quick question and then leave, now it's an email and a response and then, oh, well, I need this clarified and kind of a back and forth rather than just that immediate communication. And so I'm seeing that across the board, even with my family and with friends and stuff. It just takes longer to like have normal conversation. And so that's definitely been weird for me and something that I miss, just being able to have a face-to-face conversation.
I miss the gym. That's it. I can't work out no more. All I can do is run. So,
Watch those
pretty much
online
it.
workout videos, huh?
Yeah, do some burpees.
All right, young Aaron, what do you miss the most?
I guess just seeing people, and I miss being in school because like Chloe said, it's a lot easier to just like, hey, ask your professor a question instead of sending them an email, waiting for a response, which could take like from anywhere from like 5 minutes to 5 hours. And then a lot of miscommunication is happening through all this because the professor will send you, oh, this is due next week, but forget to mention that you need to do it this date. And so, oh, heck, you missed your assignment. And then because you misread it and it wasn't clear in the email, I feel like it's a lot harder to get your point across on what you need your students to do. And being a student, that's like a big challenge because, the teachers or professors are getting, all of these emails, overloading them. And the students are like, what are we supposed to do this day? So that's a big challenge, just not being in school, doing it online.
How about things like sports, going to church? How much of y'all miss those?
Really.
Yeah.
In playoffs should have started.
Yeah, no Major League
The
Baseball.
draft is virtual tonight.
Yeah, that's going to be different. You feel bad for the players like Joe Burrow being the number one pick more than likely, and you miss being there with all the people, and
Right.
you kind of lose those moments, that are just kind of.
You don't. You don't get to go on stage and shake hands, grab your jersey, just really be recognized as being number one. It's just like, okay, this is the number one pick.
Yeah,
that's it. It's like he said earlier, like anticlimactic. So.
Yeah. And I think everyone appreciates how hard people are working to recreate these things. Like, so much has gone into this, and so much is going into streaming church services and trying to like recreate as much of that as we can. But I think everyone's in agreement that it's just still not the same. And so it's still hard to be content with what we do have when we know how good it is the other way.
How about as you're watching things on kind of like the national stage, and you hear the experts and the doctors and the political leaders, and they make statements like, will probably never be like it was before. They use phrases like the new normal. You hear prognostications like this could be with us through the end of the year and maybe next year. How do you guys get through it mentally without feeling a sense of despair, or do you feel a sense of despair when you're hearing things like that?
I don't really stress about things I can't control. I just do what I can, to make sure I'm safe and the people around me safe. And, I just trust in God, basically. It ain't really much else to it. I just, go about it. Just do what I gotta do and just move on roll with the punches, basically.
I think, the thought of having this way of life for the rest of the year and for possibly longer than that definitely is, I'd be lying if I told you that wasn't like a little discouraging, a little thinking about that is very like something I don't want to experience. But if the medical professionals and the federal and local leaders and governors and things of that nature think that's what is the best, if that's how it's going to be, then I guess, like Aaron said, God is in control and we will see what happens. But that'd be very discouraging. I would hate to have to live like this for the rest of the year. And I hope that progress can be made on, more social distancing and hopefully vaccine, but I know that's probably over a year away. So yeah, absolutely. That'd be tough, but I'm sure we could adjust just like we're adjusting now. So
Yeah, we really kind of take it 2 weeks at a time here. Me and Dallin go 2 weeks at a time before we try to go grocery shopping or run errands or anything. And so we just like hold out for 2 weeks, have stamina for, those 14 days and figure things out, use what we can at the house. And then at the end of the 2 weeks, we just kind of start over. It's like, okay, new 2 weeks. Maybe something has changed. It hasn't so far, but, maybe in 2 weeks something will happen. And so trying not to get too discouraged, trying to look at, what happens in the next year, but just kind of taking it just a couple days at a time has really helped our mental state and just navigating not knowing what will happen.
You should know that Dallin is Chloe's husband, so that's why she mentioned it. How about you, Aaron?
Yeah, it's discouraging to see stuff like this happen. Like there's a possibility this could go on for 1 month or 1 year. But I look at it like it could be worse. You have people who their career could be like, it could be being a waiter, but you're not a waiter right now because it's social distancing. You could work at a job where they can't be open right now. I have friends that, their jobs, their lifestyle is completely just shutting down because of this pandemic. So I feel like it could be a lot worse for a lot of people.
Yeah, definitely. Kind of on that note about jobs, 3 of you are getting ready to graduate and venture off into the quote real world. Any worries or anxieties about just kind of that job market that you potentially are entering into?
For sure. I feel like there's a lot of uncertainty. It's crazy that it offers a tiny bit of comfort, though, that it's almost like the whole world is uncertain. And so I'm not just one person that doesn't know what's going to happen with my life, but everyone is kind of trying to chart out the next couple months. And so even though it is intimidating that jobs right now are just unsteady, and no one's really looking, except for, the Amazon and the Domino's of the world. No one is really looking to hire people. And so that's definitely intimidating going into a world where you just have a degree and say, please hire me, even though you're not hiring anyone. But it is comforting that a lot of people are trying to find jobs right now, and that people are going to be more gracious and more understanding, I hope, of people looking for work. And so, I don't know, it's a little bit of both.
Yeah, it's crazy because like she said, nobody's really hiring, but it's gonna come a time where everybody's gonna need a job. So like once this is over, it's like gonna be an outpour of people looking for work, and it's gonna be, I don't know, it's gonna be crazy. It's just gonna be wild.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I think like kind of picking back off what Chloe said, it's definitely intimidating, but it also is a little reassuring knowing that, not really anybody's hiring right now and everybody's trying to figure something out. And I mean, as far as going into the market, journalism and broadcast, I think, I don't care how much school you have, there's nothing more intimidating than starting a new job and not knowing how things work and am I doing this correctly? So, no matter what job I end up getting after school and after, assuming when places start hiring again, it's definitely going to be a little intimidating and a little challenging. But I'm excited. I think with any job, eventually you find your groove and you start to feel confident in what you're doing. But yeah, no, I'm very, very nerve wracking. I've been in the LC college bubble and, for so long now. So getting out of that is going to be a little weird. It's been a long few years, but I'm excited, but yeah, a little nervous.
Sure. Kind of on that note too, this would have been the time of year where you would have had your honors convocation, where you would have had the graduation ceremony, the commencement ceremony. That's being pushed back, the commencement, to August. So, as graduating seniors, talk a little bit about, just sort of what that feels like to know that what you worked so hard for 4, or in some cases a little more years, isn't going to be there right away.
Just gotta enjoy the summer, I guess. that definitely was kind of, I don't know, a little stab. Like when I heard that was a little disappointing. Just having to wait 3 more months. Chloe and Aaron, they've been at it for years, just like I have, and just it's like you put in all these years. It's like, oh, you gotta wait 3 more months. It's just like 3 months is 3 months. So it's a little, I don't know. It's a little jab and it's a little pain, but I don't know. I guess we'll just have to wait till August. I'll walk across that stage. I don't care if it's, in February, like it's going to happen. Yeah. Whenever they set the date, I'll be there.
Yeah, I think a lot of people feel that way, that it is disappointing that we're not kind of receiving that immediate gratification to say you're done, here's your diploma, now fly away, but at the same time, people recognize how much work we've put into it. And so I appreciate the fact that they're just trying to make it work, that they haven't said, well, we just can't have a graduation this year, sorry. But instead, they really do want to recognize what we've done and all that we've accomplished. And so, like Brandon said, even if it takes, longer than August, I think that a lot of graduates would say, I'm there. Like, I will walk because I know that this is a big moment personally and for my family. And I still want that closure to be able to say I walked at my college graduation. So whenever that can happen, I'll be there.
Yeah. See, I'm in the minority. See, I'm cool with it because I still got to take summer classes. So, so once I finish those summer classes, I'm right in there. So,
good perspective.
It's not going.
I think we got a few minutes left in this recording, so I want to just point this question at you guys. I want to start with young Aaron first. What will be your biggest memory from your freshman year, and then for you seniors, give me what you feel like will be your best memory or memories of Louisiana College.
I guess probably meeting the people that really impacted me in my freshman year, that I feel like hopefully will be like, will carry out that friendship through the rest of my college journey. But probably the biggest memory I'll ever have is just um, jumping into college and then being in the plays, because that was so fun just to experience all of that, and being important characters in a play and just performing in front of hundreds of people. That's pretty fantastic to do in your freshman year. So that's an advantage of a smaller college, because when you audition for a role, you have a good chance of, if you're good or not, you can get a leading role. And I think that was really amazing to do my first play and I got a leading role. Like, that was by far my greatest memory of this year.
Well, mine's definitely got to be a football memory. So
Yeah.
it's probably it would be facing all the challenges that I did when I first came back, and everything that I accomplished my sophomore year, that first season back. That's got to be the highest point of just my life at LC. Just all the adversity that I faced, trying to get back to where I wanted to be, and being able to accomplish that. That really, yeah, that's a big moment for me.
I think for me, you definitely don't have enough minutes for me to say everything, but my biggest thing is the people that I met. I came into LC a very quiet, introverted kid. I didn't want to do anything. I just wanted to get my degree and get out. And I never would have thought I would have done things such as like the Wildcat Weekly Minute and being in front of a camera and that stuff. Just the thought of it used to terrify me. But I had great professors such as like yourself, Mr. Al, Dr. Christian, people in the humanities department, and just great people, great connections, great friends, very encouraging people. Everybody in this video conference right now, like people that I've had conversations with and that were encouraging. It was just a great family. Met so many great people, and just a great atmosphere, a great community, and just a great family of people at LC. I always say my favorite thing about LC, I've said this for years now, is that the people that I met, the connections and the relationships that I built were the best thing about it, hands down.
Yeah, I have to say that I agree that more than just one memory of LC, the overriding thing that sticks with me is the people, the professors that poured into me and taught me and were patient with me, and the friends that are family now, the friends that I know that I will always have, that they'll always have my back, and that just because I'm graduating doesn't mean that our friendships are ending, but because they're so strong, we've walked through so much life together in such a short amount of time, that those people will be with me forever. And so if I did have to pick one memory with like a one group of people that really will stick out to me, it would definitely be my Welcome Week experience in being a Welcome Week leader and getting to just invest in freshmen and invest in the staff in a way that was just so good for my heart, and in a way that I think really represented the school well and represented the Lord well. And so I love that Welcome Week staff, and I loved the time that I got to spend with them just serving in that capacity.
Great stuff. Guys, thanks so much for taking this time to do this. I want to congratulate you, the three seniors, on the hard work you've put in and getting ready to graduate. We'll definitely miss you around here. Aaron, you got big shoes to fill, so make sure you come back in the fall ready to work.
Oh, yeah.
All right. Well, you guys, thank you so much. God bless to all of you, and thank you again.
All right.
We'll see you later.
You guys.
Cool.